Hi, my name's Tim Flood, and I'm doing a presentation on vermicomposting for Jack Spirko's Fall 2016 workshop. I was planning, this is my worm composting system, vermicomposting, and I was planning on taking this out to Jack's. I don't live all that far from him, so I was going to put it in the back of my truck, and then I thought, you know, that's really a lot of work, so I'm just going to do a little video presentation. I've got some worms ready to go in here. I'm going to build this right now, and then when I'm at the workshop for the weekend, we'll build another one in real life. So I got my worms through the mail, just from the internet, and they're in this bucket with some food scraps. So you can see down in here, and I got two different kinds. I got the red wigglers and the night crawlers, so a couple different kinds of worms. When you get them in the mail, they're just going to come in a priority mailbox, and they come in these little bags, and the shipper will coordinate with your weather conditions. I live in Texas, and so he couldn't ship them until it cooled off some. So anyway, that's what they'll come in. I got them. I didn't want to leave them in there. I put them in this bucket with some food. So let me show you how we're going to do this. I've got two barrels here. Here's half of a barrel, and then here's a full barrel. This barrel has a bunch of little holes that I drilled in the bottom of it, and it just nests in one on the other, and I'll show you why in a minute. So what we're going to do is make some bedding for the worms. This is just a bag of leaves that came from the side of the road from some yard. You can get those literally anywhere. That's probably... Okay, I got the leaves in there. Another thing we can add for bedding is these are just plain white office paper towels and newspaper, and we can put that in there. I've got just some plain brown cardboard. We can put all that in there. Okay. So let's go ahead then, and we'll dump in the worms. Okay, one of the things we have to do is to feed the worms, and the very easiest way is to go to Starbucks and just ask them for their coffee grounds, and they'll have a bag full of coffee grounds for you just for the asking. Worms love coffee, so put that in there. Okay, so my barrel now is full to about here, so we could go ahead and add the rest of this cardboard. What I'm going to add is the material that had been partially composted from before. And you can see this is cardboard and partially composted compost. Okay, you can cut that off and I'll get... Okay, so the worms are in there. Remember, I had my leaves, and they're going to shrink down. I had my leaf bedding. I put in my white office paper and brown cardboard. I put in my worms. I put in the coffee grounds from Starbucks, and then I filled it with a layer of compost. Now, I want you to come over here, and I want you to look at this compost that they've already made, that I've already sifted through, and that's what the material looks like in the end. And here in Texas, and I don't see them now, you'll end up with the black soldier flies. I don't know if you live in a northern climate, I don't know. But anyway, this is the compost that the worms make. So it's really, really beautiful material. Now, why is the valve on here? If you'll remember, I said that there's a bunch of holes in the bottom of this barrel. You can see I put it on a stand just made out of scrap wood here. I've got this valve so that when you add some moisture to the worms, you can tell I've got it under a shaded roof. Again, in Texas you want to keep it out of the heat, but you got to give them moisture, and then it runs through and runs down so the earth stays moist but not soaking wet. And then in the end you have worm tea that you can pour on your plants. So then you just want to keep feeding your worms. You want to feed them, go to Starbucks and get coffee grounds, fruit scraps, vegetable scraps, but you got to keep them fed regularly from the top, and then you got to make sure you're pulling the good material out. The worms cannot live off of their own castings. So this is a very simple vermicompost system, and I'm going to build one for you at the Jack Spirko's 2016 Fall Workshop. So see you then. Bye.